Hello, everybody. In this week's episode, we are going to install or attempt to install a Beard racing seat, or Baird. I think it's Beard. I've had the seat for a long time. It's kind of a nostalgia thing for me, a sentimental thing. I don't know. Basically, I've had this seat for 20 years now, maybe 15 years. It's changed hands a few times. I've always kept it close, and yeah, it's always been looking for the right home. It was home in the Roadster for a little while until the roll bar kind of ruined that. But ultimately, it's always sat looking for a good home, and now we will try to make it work inside the Alpha. Why, you're wondering? Do I want to put some old seat inside an older car? Pretty simple. These seats are completely flat. I actually did a run up to Newcomb's Ranch with the car with stock suspension, which is 40, 50 years old. I'm sure it's the original. And the flat seats made for a very interesting drive. They're literally as flat as this chair, but there's nothing like this to hold me in. So I was leaning and leaning, which looks fun when you're seeing me do it, but it's definitely not confidence expiring. So how am I going to do this? This seat has eyelets at the bottom that are off in both directions. I have some measurements on my little whiteboard. So the Alpha's seat bases are just about 18 inches wide, whereas the Beard seat is 14 and a half, so it's more narrow. And then the front to back mounting point on the Alpha is actually just 12 inches, whereas the seat is 17. So it's off in both directions, but no surprise, it isn't made for this car, but it's got some pretty wicked bolstering. It's pretty damn comfortable. It looks really era correct for this car. I'm pretty sure it was made in the 70s. It's got some cool 70s fabric, and it's vinyl, and the brown almost is a perfect match. It's close enough for me, and that's all that matters. I'll leave the rest of the interior alone. I just wanted something that's going to hold me good on the sides. Is a bit more comfortable. The seat, I'll put in some pictures of what the two seats look like. So the Nuova was probably the worst one out of all of them. The earlier ones kind of had a little bit of a bucket that held you in, but no headrest, which is kind of a good and bad. It's nice that it's got a little bit of a bucket that it sits you into, but no headrest. It's not cool, in my opinion. There's a reason why cars have headrests nowadays. This one actually does have headrests, which is cool, but the seat is totally flat, like I said. And out of all the seating, which I'm pretty sure is totally original in the car, only the driver's seat has some wear, where the bottom leather is, or it's not leather, bottom vinyl is torn apart, starting to come apart. So one more reason do I need? It's an improvement all the way around. Purists might think, why are you doing this again? But I want something that's going to hold me in. And when I'm sitting in the car and driving it, you're not going to notice any difference. So that's how am I going to mount that? I actually have some old just angle iron. This is pretty hefty. It does the job really well. I've got a couple of these just left over from God knows what. I was trying to see if I could maybe use the original ones that I had used to mount the seat in the Datsun. It just makes more sense to try something different. I just took those off. I put them aside. I made in them down the road or whatever. But this is pretty heavy. And so rather than using two of these in their full length, I'm actually going to try to chop this into 4 small sections. Give me a couple holes. I'll be obviously drilling out a bunch of this metal to maybe give myself an inch forward or backward to get the nice fixed seat position, because there will not be any rails. All right, and so with that, let's get to it. So the first thing that we're doing here is obviously we got the cutting wheel. We're cutting this piece into sections. And once I have the 4 sections ready, what you'll see me doing is taking out the drill and drilling out the holes for the spot welds. So that's what I'm doing here. All right, we are now at the point of the build where we've got the brackets bolted on. The holes on the sides for the seat are drilled out. So we are about halfway there. Next thing I did is took my trusty measuring tape along with my little graph that I've got up there, and I measured out where the holes need to be for the floor. So gonna punch them, drill them, and then if I can figure out how to get the Alpha seat out, we can do a test fit and maybe finish. Who knows? We'll see. This was the final step in being able to mount the seats. So with that done, I was able to test fit it and subsequently scratched my door like an idiot. The good news is the stock Julia seat weighed 35 pounds or 16 kilograms, and that was taken out and replaced with just 20 pounds or 9 kilograms for the Beard Racing seat. So that was a nice improvement. However, the seat sat too low, so I had to cut up a little bit more angle iron and weld it up. Don't want to add too much weight though, so trimming out the fat. And here's a nice look at the final mounts with some extra holes drilled for mounting purposes. And here's the seat fully mounted. Not bad looking in my opinion. You can see the difference in the bolstering of what's non-existent on the Julia and what the Beard Racing seat has. That's definitely going to hold me in, and it's going to help a lot when it comes to what's coming soon. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, and if you want, follow me on Instagram.